7 proofs why the moon is not receding at 38 millimeters per year. First note that 38 millimeters per year equals 3 millimeters per lunar orbit, because there are 13 orbits in a year. Now the first proof is that individual orbits of the moon vary by as much as 10,000 plus minus kilometers at the extremities of each orbit. So how could 3 millimeters per orbit be meaningful at all? Reason number 2. To calculate A equals CT, it seems simple enough to bounce a signal off the moon at the speed of light and easily measure the time it takes. So multiply C by T equals distance, which is A. So the speed of light is 300,000 kilometers per second, which we convert to 300,000 million millimeters, because our answer must be in millimeters. So we can see now there's 12 digits in that number when we say 300,000 million millimeters. And we multiply that by the number of seconds. Now I have here 1.3 x. I haven't got the exact amount, and that's roughly 1.3 seconds, but I don't need to know the exact amount to prove what I'm doing here. I do not need exact amounts because it's about philosophical logic. For A to equal CT, each unit must be 12 decimal places for the calculation to be accurate. But the speed of light c is accurate only to 9 decimal places. As well as t, time, our best clocks, strontium clocks, are only accurate to 10 decimal places. Which means the closest you can measure such an accuracy over a second is by 30 meters. If your most accurate measurement is 30 meters, we don't have units of measurement that measure closer than that because we're just not accurate enough to measure closer than that. So if it's only 30 meters, how can you tell me that they've measured it accurate to within millimeters? You're out by 1,000 times, 3 decimal places. You don't have 3 decimal places more. Reason number 3. 10,000 kilometer changes per orbit means that the velocity of the moon towards or away from the Earth is often at plus minus 4 meters per second. The signal is measuring 100 times more accurately than the change in distance of the moon in the time it takes to measure that distance, which is 3 seconds. So that's 10 meters the moon has moved, either towards us or away from us, in those 3 seconds of the calculation. So I don't see how you can be accurate any better than 10 meters for that simple reason. Reason number 4. Now consider the movement of 38 millimeters per year, or 3 millimeters per orbit, as a statistical average over numerous orbits, with a fluctuation in extremities of perigee and apogee of 10,000 kilometers between each orbit. We need 10,000 orbits to get an average movement of 1 kilometer. Because a single fluctuation of 10,000 kilometers will alter the average of 10,000 such orbits by 1 whole kilometer. It would take 800 years to measure 10,000 orbits with such a weak accuracy of 1 kilometer. But they want to tell us that they are accurate to within 38 millimeters. Reason number 5. They say that 38 millimeters decay in orbit is caused by ocean tides. This is what NASA claims. But magma tides would have well over 1,000 times more such effect, because the magma of the Earth is obviously much more than the mere oceans. If this was such a true thing, of course. But they didn't notice the magnetites. They only said it was the oceans. Reason number 6. It should be clear, as a matter of sheer logic, that the Sun and other planets certainly must pull the Moon away from the Earth. Think about it. OG 17, Orbit Gravity Sim 17.exe, will tell us precisely how much this will be. And at no point have NASA even considered the role the Sun itself plays here in pulling the Moon away from the Earth. Reason number 7. The only way to even make such a calculation, a claim of mere millimeters, is with an algorithm, not with a measurement. And you would require the solution to 3D n-body gravity. And I am the only one that has done that. Let's look at OG 17, Orbit Gravity Sim 17. This is just a preliminary sample. I've still got to upload it. It's not available for download for a while. It's going to be quite a long going because it's going to be very accurate, unlike the last few. That's why I've been working on it for the longest. I'm trying to get it as accurate as I can get it with as many bodies in the solar system as possible. But here's just the Moon. And I mean, you've got to look at how it's moving there. At the side axis as well. And you'll see each fluctuation, each orbit is moving visibly on the screen. That's a very wibbly-wobbly orbit. That's not a very stable orbit compared to all the rest of the planets. They orbit the Sun in a very nice uniform where you can't even see the changes. And yeah, the changes are obvious. Look at that. OG 17 coming soon. To conclude, the 38mm recession of the Moon cannot be real. This is deliberate trolling by NASA. A deliberate question to see who bothers to follow through on the math, to see who can actually detect that pull, that 3D n-body gravity pull that Jupiter, Venus, Mars, even, all of those planets are affecting the Moon slightly. And all of them are affecting the Earth. And I've got that algorithm. It's there. You'll see it. I'll put it in the link below. But in the meantime, you may want to look at OG 15, where I deal with the Perihelion Precession, the famous Perihelion Precession that was supposed to prove Einstein correct, which in fact proves him incorrect for at least 3 completely fundamentally separate reasons, any one of which is good enough in a logical paradigm.